Hey everyone, and welcome back to CJRaceCars YouTube channel. The guys are doing their best to get this thing welded out. A lot of welding, a lot of double, triple, quadruple checking that we got all the welds, because the last thing we want to do is have this thing powder coated and we miss welds. That would not be ideal. So Taylor and Andrew are over here welding. It's Monday. Taylor worked all weekend. I worked all weekend. Danny and Troy worked all weekend. So doing everything we can to get this thing to powder coat so that we can get it back, put the body on it, get it to paint by the end of the week. This will be a long week, but that's what we got to do. We did some time-lapse stuff this weekend of welding and finishing this thing up, pulling the body off. So we're going to show you that now, and then we'll get to the rest of the video. We're getting ready to flip this thing over, and how much welding's left?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
No, from the X brace in the floor that's going to be underneath the drive shaft, basically from there to the four-link brackets, needs a little love. Needs some finish welding. The 090 underneath the pan, or underneath the seat, so the seat pan needs to be finished. Very, very minor things.
What we did is Danny, him, Andrew, and myself, we went around, put yellow tape where it needs to be welds. We'll do that again once we remove all tape, weld everything we think we needed. There's a lot of welding. I mean, during the process of this build, he welded a lot of days with on jig, well, a lot of days with off the jig, and still Saturday and Sunday. You see from the time lapse, he welded pretty much 2 full days, and I welded at least 20 or 30 minutes. So it's a lot of welding. A lot of welding going on here. I may weld a little bit more today, another 20, 30 minutes.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
And we're gonna get it done though. So we're about to flip this thing over. A few welds on the bottom. He actually has welded most of the bottom on a creeper. We're gonna flip it, get whatever's left. And I think powder coat. I know we've been saying that for a few videos, but I think it's actually going to powder coat tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning.
The biggest issue is the pan underneath of the seat.
Yeah, which is mostly fit other than this side. Could it be done on the ground? It could be, but we're flipping it, so we're waiting until we flip it because it's a very thick material. This is an NHRA cert, so it has to have a thicker material under the seat, welded solid. We don't do that in all of our cars, but we do want to do it for this. He's gonna run a lot of quarter-mile stuff, and considering the seat is so much lower than the chassis, definitely would do it anyways. But so when we flip it, we're gonna do that. It's just hard to form that stuff, especially upside down on a creeper. Make Taylor's life a little easier for once. I'm gonna flip it over and let him do it that way. And then
It's rare.
wrap this thing up, get it powder coat, and get the hot pink put on here and see what it looks like. Well, how much do you think it weighs? About 300 pounds.
Think so?
Yeah,
Put your batteries in the scales.
roughly. They're dead. They messed up.
They're dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not dead. Something happened to battery. Batteries exploded. I bet it's 275 or 300. All right. Ready?
I don't know how we're doing.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit of a pain. Let's just pick it up and you're gonna have to go slow. You're gonna have to turn that back.
Okay, so we're going
on the same page.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
Clockwise, counterclockwise.
But we may need to go towards Troy's box first.
Yeah, before we start spinning.
Yeah. Or when it's up
Yeah.
90, walk it over.
Yeah. All right.
Something.
Andrew looks like he could pick the whole thing up by himself.
I
Yeah.
want to. I don't want to. Very sure.
Andrew's gonna hurt himself if he does that.
Yeah. Once you pick it up, I'll move the. I'll do the heavy. I'll get this jack stand and this stand out of the way. Ready?
You wanna walk over this way? Hang on. You got it?
Yep.
All right. Where's the boards at?
Behind you.
I don't know if that's,
I don't know.
is that tall enough?
Is that, I don't know.
Try that. See what you got.
Good job, guys. Remember, use your back, not your knees.
That's what I did.
How much you think it weighs?
I don't know. Probably roughly about what you said.
Yeah. 53? If this thing weighs 53 pounds, that'd be awesome.
On my end, it was.
On your end.
How about you?
You're welcome.
There's a lot of bars on this thing.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta have to make sure it's safe at 260 miles an hour.
So from here back where you see the yellow tape, there's a couple pieces in here that aren't taped, but that's the majority of what we have left as far as needing to be welded. And then this is the pan that's underneath the seat. This outside section I've got made, just need to put it in, and then we'll put the seat in because it hangs below this rail. We'll put the seat in upside down and fit the last third in there, and then we can be done.
All right, it's 10 o'clock at night. We just got done welding the chassis, and we're gonna load it up tonight, so we're ready to take it first thing in the morning. And Josh has the scale. We're gonna see how much this thing weighs before powder coat and how much the powder coat adds to the chassis. I think the chassis is gonna weigh about 307 pounds. What do you think, Cameron?
280.
Josh?
289.
289. All right, we'll see what's close. What do you think, Donnie?
325.
320. Oh, you got. See, he's trying to go right over me. All right. I think it's gonna weigh 307. We'll see what it's gonna weigh. This car has a lot of tubes, being a turbo car. Jamie's car is probably 30 pounds lighter in this car, but we'll see what this car weighs and how much powder coat adds to it. I don't think the powder coat's gonna add that much. 4 pounds.
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 pounds.
4 or 5 pounds. Put in the comments what you guys think the powder coat's gonna add. I bet it ain't gonna be that much. I think paint would add a little less if we painted a chassis, but the paint doesn't hold up as good. Some people do paint chassis, and it's fine. It would touch up easier though,
Yeah.
the powder coat, but we'll see. All right, we're gonna put this thing on the scales, see how much it weighs. We got some wood on there so the chassis can sit on there without the sheet metal from the rockers being on the ground, but we zeroed it out after we put the wood on there. Let's see what it weighs. All right, it's heavier than we thought it was. Donnie was actually the closest, and Donnie's never been around race cars, so that's pretty bad when Donnie did better than welding.
Yes, that's all.
Huh?
It's just lucky guess.
It's exactly 350 pounds. So it's a little more than I thought. It does have a lot of bars. Being a turbo car, has a lot of accessories on it, welded on. Some steel stuff in the firewall, which is just a few pounds. If we were to do titanium up here, and that little piece of titanium, it may save half a pound. For these little tiny panels though, the screws you add and the strips you have to add to screw it to is not a huge weight savings. Would have been some, but not much. It's a really stout car, longer wheelbase. I'm pretty sure like the Lexus we built was right around 300. The Scion was 275, but the Scion has a lot smaller bars, thinner wall tubes, and titanium back half, titanium dual frame rail. So it's about what I thought. We also had to add a Molly pan underneath the seat to get it red tagged for the NHRA cert, which we don't do on all of our cars. So that's a little bit of weight there. It is what it is. It'll be a stout car. It'll work good, and we'll see what it adds. So it's exactly 350 pounds. We'll see how much it weighs when it comes back in a few days in powder coat. Taylor's doing some last minute welding. 2 final tabs on the windshield bar there, and we got a boom hooked up to the forklift. We're gonna load it up, take this thing to powder coat. We're gonna bring the GoPro over there on a stand. Hopefully we can catch the whole thing they do, the sandblasting, the prep, the powder. I think it's a 3-stage powder. They use a primer, a color, and then a clear. So hopefully we can catch that, get them to explain how they do it, and get this thing back quick. Danny's already back there prepping the body for when it comes back, we can set the body on it. I think they're only gonna have it 2 days, which is an awesome turnaround. These guys are doing a lot to help us out on our deadline. Tonight or tomorrow, we have a guy coming to paint the inside of the body. We paint the inside of the body satin black, the inside of the front end satin black, just so they look good. You don't want like a bare metal with a bunch of weld showing through the body. So we'll paint the inside of that before we stick it on the chassis, get this thing back, stick it on the chassis, and then we're heading to Georgia for paint. We talked a lot about it's hard to make sure you got every weld. That's why at the very end, we've already gone over this thing probably 2 or 3 times, but we'll have everybody look at it, fresh set of eyes, and make sure it's welded. Like we said, the last thing we want to do is send this thing a powder coat, get it back, and then realize something wasn't welded. So that's why we're going over it, 4 or 5 people, a couple different times. If they do see anything, they'll put a little piece of tape. But I think we got it all, getting ready to load up on a trailer. All right.
Ease it up, let's see what happens.
Probably gonna be a little heavier in the back, maybe. Pretty close.
It's real close. That tape's probably not gonna hold, but the C-clamp will, all right?
Once we get it down, we can roll it if we need
Yeah.
to. Trying to be careful because we want to make sure we put enough straps on here. We messed with another customer one time and said their car went off in a ditch and the strap broke on the way to powder coat. We don't want to actually have that problem. It's funny when it's not true. It probably wouldn't be so funny if it really happened. Probably lay it on his face. Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect.
That'll be all right.
Look at that.
For this guy in Miami.
I'm just gonna boom out and set it right over there. We can roll it from there. Yep. These pins, like just the top,
Yes,
like
sir,
from
we'll-
that point up.
We'll take those.
You want to get some orange tape and
Just
we can mark
make sure.
where it is just so we
Okay.
know for sure?
Yeah, just normal stuff, fittings. Everything else is nothing to worry about. Anything else? The fitting, then like the inside of this.
Inside here.
Yep.
Just the inside?
Yep.
Okay. What about that? Does that need to be
Yep.
just to that
Yep.
bottom? Okay.
Pretty much the same
Yeah,
as.
normal stuff.
Yeah. Put that on that pallet.
Whole face.
Yeah.
Tape off.
Yeah. So that face from like here. No, just this face
Just
here.
this top edge here?
Yep.
Okay.
From there in, and then from here out, like anything that's black right there, basically
Right.
out.
Okay.
And then holes, if you can.
Yeah.
That thread, that
Oh,
thread. It's way different. And we've had taller people drive cars like 6'2", 6'3". I'm like, oh, we'll have plenty of room. And when we first came, we had the seat flat, and he sat in it without a helmet. And his head was against the. I was like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So we had to lean the seat way back, way out. So he's leaned way back.
Right.
And obviously you can see it's dipped down like
Yeah,
3 inches lower. Yeah. And then we had to do this. We never had to do this. Usually it goes straight across.
Right.
So that's like an extra 3 or 4 inches there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
been
He
fun.
definitely taller than I thought, you know, so it was a little tight
That's
there.
what
but
I've heard. I've heard a lot of people say that.
yeah, he is. He's tall for sure. It's leaving here. As soon as we bring it back to the shop, we're putting a body on it, and it's going straight to paint, like ASAP. And then they're going to have it for 2 weeks, and then we only have like a week to put it together. So it'll be yeah. Yep.
Sweet.
So it'll be fun.
We'll shoot it tomorrow and try to get it back to you as soon as we possibly can, and then.
Okay. I mean, if obviously I don't know if you do it all at once. If you do, that's fine. If not, this would be the main
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll
main
get
priority. If we could have it all back at the same time, that'd be
Yeah,
great
we'll
too.
get as
But
much of
this
it
would be the
back to you as possible. So.
yeah. All right, we got everything dropped off. These guys are going to get right to work. This is Hunter, this is Brandon, and James. These guys are gonna they're gonna make it happen for us.
Yeah.
They're gonna get it done quick.
Yeah. We got you.
And they're gonna do it right. So they're gonna shoot a bunch of video. They got a GoPro and kind of explain the process while we're not here. And then in a few days after we pick it up, Cleetus is gonna come and he's gonna try to spray something. Hopefully that comes out good. It's gonna be the belly pan, kind of similar to when he painted the airplane or his helicopters on the bottom. So if it don't go great, it'll be on the bottom.
Yeah.
So, but I think he'll do good. He does good at pretty much everything. Still surprised by the weld, so awesome. Thank you guys again,
Yeah, no problem,
and
man.
we'll see you soon. Thank you guys. All right, now that we got the car at powder coat, Taylor's over here, finished welding some of the trim that goes around the door windows. Danny spent pretty much the entire morning cutting off the lips. So when we do the door windows, the front windshield lips, the back windshield lips, the factory lip is like 1 inch long. Ours is only 3/16 deep, so we go around the backside, trim all that stuff off, buff it down. Tomorrow the inside of the body is gonna get painted. So Taylor's finishing up that. Danny's over here doing the inner carbon door panels, and Troy is mounting the headlights in the front end. So wide open, trying to get the body ready for the chassis to come back tomorrow night, maybe first thing Thursday. Put the body on, a few minor things, and off the paint. So that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. The next time you guys see the car, it'll probably have color on it, and Cleetus will be here checking it out. So thanks again everyone that's been following along with this build. Make sure you like, share with your friends, and hit the subscribe button. We'll see you on our next one.